Let's take a closer look at Smashwords then as a distribution channel. It takes you to all the key places that you need to be: iBooks, Barnes & Noble, Kobo. Scribd is a reasonably sized site, and it also lets you list on Smashwords' own internal marketplace. And as you'll see there, you can earn 60% of the list price from the ebook retailers and 85% at smashwords.com. So KDP gets to a maximum of 70%. 85% is actually quite exciting if you're an author. So, sometimes you may say to yourself, actually, I'm going to list on both Draft Digital and Smashwords because I want to be in that Smashwords marketplace and have my books exposed to people in that particular marketplace. So the other thing that you need to consider is you can actually list on both Smashwords and Draft Digital. It doesn't matter which you do, because both of them are going to get you through to more channels. The other thing about listing widely, if you were to manually list your books on Kobo and iBooks and Barnes & Noble, you're going to have to get pretty familiar with the differences between .mobi and .epub files. So KDP, or Kindle books, are created using Mobi files. Virtually everybody else uses the EPUB file, except for somewhere like Scribd, for instance, which, if I remember correctly, is a PDF. Some use PDFs. So it's mainly Mobi and EPUB files. Now, one of the things that I had to learn when I didn't know about these aggregation sites, because they're an absolute blessing, I had to get softwares that would then change my Word documents into Mobi and EPUB files, and when I changed it to EPUB files, it didn't look right, the formatting wasn't correct, and I had terrible problems. And the day I discovered aggregation sites was a wonderful day, because these just take care of it all. You generally upload your file as a Word doc, and they convert it, and they make sure that it looks great on all the channels, and Smashwords will do just that. So the key thing that you need to be aware of with Smashwords is that you've got better distribution than with Draft Digital. That's really the killer point here. Better distribution, wider distribution on Smashwords. Also the internal Smashwords marketplace, where you get 85% of the cut. And the other thing you need to be aware of with Smashwords is that Smashwords has its own style guide. They have specific requirements when you upload books. So do make sure you check out the Smashwords style guide. Don't just go straight in there in a gung-ho way, and don't look at the detail with Smashwords. Now, as I say, I personally have not listed on Smashwords. Every time I do a presentation about Smashwords and I see that 85% and I see those other channels, I think, do you know what? I really must do that. And I think the bottom line is, you need to look at Draft Digital, look at Smashwords, see which you prefer, which interface you prefer. I just prefer the Draft Digital interface, but there's nothing stopping you from listing on both. The key thing is, if you list on both, make sure that you don't list, for instance, your book on iBooks through Smashwords and Draft Digital. That's going to cause no end of confusion. So if you list on iBooks, choose which it's going to be, Smashwords or Draft Digital, but not both of them. So you may have to exclude some channels from Smashwords because you've used Draft Digital to list those particular books, but please don't double list the books on the same channel. That's going to cause no end of problems for you as an author, because you're going to have duplicates flying around, and that really won't serve you in the long term.